Welcome back to Coins Tool. Today, we're going to dive deep into the history, the unique circumstances, and the crazy value of the 1976 Lincoln penny. Flashbacks of historical photos, Abraham Lincoln's face, and the first Lincoln pennies produced. To understand the 1976 penny, we need to start with the history of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic image, and Lincoln has remained on the penny ever since. While most Lincoln pennies have little value beyond their 1-cent face value, some rare versions, like the 1976 penny, have caught the attention of collectors and historians alike. A magnifying glass examining a 1976 penny, highlighting its details, such as the date and mint mark, *so, what makes the 1976 Lincoln penny stand out? At first glance, it looks just like any other penny. But certain versions of this coin have become extremely valuable because of a few specific factors: unique errors, the type of metal used, and their condition. One of the key reasons why the 1976 penny can fetch high prices is due to a minting error. In some cases, these pennies were accidentally struck on different planchets, metal discs, intended for other coins, like dimes or foreign currency. This type of mistake is incredibly rare, and collectors go crazy for such error coins. Another thing that makes the 1976 penny even more significant is the fact that it was minted during the United States bicentennial year. Although the penny itself didn't have any special commemorative design to mark the 200th anniversary of the country's independence, anything minted in 1976 holds special historical value to collectors. Footage of an auction house, bids coming in for the 1976 penny, the gavel slamming as the final bid is placed, *. Now, let's get to the jaw-dropping part, the penny that sold for $1.6 million. It wasn't just any 1976 penny, of course. This specific coin was a proof penny, meaning it was struck with extra care at the mint, giving it a much sharper and more detailed finish than regular circulating pennies. A high-grade proof penny being carefully examined by a professional coin grader, *. It was also in pristine condition, graded as MS 70, the highest possible grade for a coin, which means it had no signs of wear, scratches, or blemishes. A combination of its rarity, historical significance, and condition made it a coin that collectors simply couldn't resist. A montage of rare coins, from ancient times to modern day, with collectors showcasing their collections, *. But why would anyone pay such a huge sum of money for a penny? Well, in the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything. The rarer a coin, and the better its condition, the more it's worth. Close-ups of a coin collection being appraised, the expert talking about grading, and determining value, *. Collectors see these coins as not just currency, but as historical artifacts, miniature pieces of art that capture a moment in time. In this case, the 1976 penny represents a perfect storm of history, rarity, and a minting error, which made it so desirable that someone was willing to pay over $1.6 million for it. Now, you might be wondering, could you have one of these rare pennies sitting in your pocket right now? While it's unlikely that your average 1976 penny is worth anything near $1.6 million, some pennies from that year can still be valuable. There are a few things to look out for. Slow-motion shot of a person examining a penny under a magnifying glass, *. First, check for any errors, like if the penny was struck on the wrong metal or if there are any unusual markings. Then, check the condition. Coins in mint state or uncirculated condition can be worth significantly more than worn pennies. A coin grading guide pops up on screen, showing different levels of condition from good to mint state. *. Lastly, if you think you found a potentially valuable coin, consider getting it graded by a professional. This can help verify its condition and authenticity, which is important if you plan on selling it. As of today, some of the rarest 1976 Lincoln pennies have sold for thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and unique characteristics. While not every penny will make you a millionaire, the market for rare coins continues to grow, with prices on the rise. A look at an online auction or marketplace for rare coins, showing recent sales and bids, asterisk for example, even a 1976 penny with a minor error or in near-perfect condition can fetch anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s. A final close-up shot of a pristine 1976 penny rotating under a spotlight, as the camera pulls back to reveal more coins in the background, asterisk the story of the 1976 Lincoln penny is a fascinating reminder that even the most ordinary objects can hold incredible value. Whether it's a small minting error or simply being in the right condition, a simple penny can become a million-dollar treasure. We're diving deep into one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history, the 1941 Lincoln penny. You may have heard rumors of this small, humble coin fetching a jaw-dropping $1.9 million in today's market. Is it true? How can a 1-cent piece become so valuable? Stick around, because today, we're exploring its fascinating history, value, and how one of these could be worth a fortune. First, let's travel back to 1909, the year the Lincoln penny was first introduced. This coin was revolutionary for a few reasons. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's face, none other than Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The design was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. On one side, you've got Lincoln's profile, and on the reverse side, 2 wheat stalks representing prosperity and agriculture, earning it the nickname, the wheat penny. This design stayed in circulation from 1909 until 1958 when the wheat design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design on the back. Now, by 1941, the United States was on the verge of joining World War II. Resources were stretched thin, and there was a huge demand for metals, which would eventually lead to some fascinating coin shortages and experimental coin compositions. More on that in a moment. The 1941 penny was produced at 3 mints, Philadelphia, which has no mint mark, Denver, with a D mint mark, and San Francisco, with an S mint mark. Over 1 billion pennies were minted that year across these 3 locations, so, at first glance, you might think a 1941 penny would be common. But as we'll soon find out, there are key factors that can make a specific 1941 penny incredibly valuable. The standard 1941 penny is made of 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, and it weighs about 3.11 grams. But what makes this year especially interesting is that it was one of the last years before the U.S. government made major changes to coin composition due to World War II metal shortages. Alright, let's talk about what can make your 1941 penny valuable. There are 3 main factors: rarity, condition, and errors. Let's break it down. First up, rarity. The majority of 1941 pennies are common, especially those from the Philadelphia Mint. However, the pennies from the Denver and San Francisco mints can be a bit more rare, particularly in higher grades. For example, if you have a coin in near mint or uncirculated condition, the value increases dramatically. A circulated 1941 penny in average condition is worth between 10 to 50 cents, depending on where it was minted. But an uncirculated penny, especially one with high grading from professional services like PCGS or NGC, can easily fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Speaking of condition, this is where things get serious. The grading scale for coins runs from 1 to 70. A mint state or MS grade coin, particularly in the 66 to 68 range, can drastically affect value. For example, a 1941 Lincoln penny graded MS 67 or higher could sell for over $10,000. That's just for a regular mint penny in excellent condition. But here's where it gets really interesting. The most valuable coins often have errors. This includes double die errors, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks. These mistakes happen during the minting process and are super rare, so collectors pay top dollar to get their hands on them. A well-known error for the 1941 Lincoln penny is the double die variety, where the design is imprinted twice, slightly offset. If you have a 1941 penny with a noticeable double die error, you're looking at a coin worth thousands, potentially tens of thousands. Now, the part you've been waiting for: how does a penny from 1941 reach a value of $1.9 million? Incredibly, in recent years, a rare 1941 Lincoln penny was auctioned for $1.9 million, and here's why. This penny was not just any regular penny, it was a one-of-a-kind error coin, possibly made with an experimental composition or a minting mistake that no one realized until decades later. The exact details are still debated among experts, but the rarity of this coin sent collectors into a frenzy. Bidding wars pushed the price to an unimaginable level. This just goes to show, even the smallest coin in your pocket might hold a hidden treasure. If you have a 1941 penny, it's worth checking for any errors or having it graded by a professional service. Who knows? You might be sitting on a small fortune. As of 2024, the average value of a 1941 penny in circulated condition is about 10 to 50 cents, like I mentioned earlier. But uncirculated coins can be worth anywhere from $20 to $200, depending on their condition. Error coins or coins in higher grades, especially graded MS-66 or higher, can easily hit the thousands. If you happen to find one of these in pristine condition or with a minting error, you could be looking at serious money, though, of course, hitting that $1.9 million jackpot is extremely rare. So, how do you check your 1941 pennies to see if you've got something special? First, use a magnifying glass or loupe to closely examine the coin. Look for any irregularities like double strikes, repunched mint marks, or other unusual features. Next, consider sending it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for a full evaluation. The small investment could be well worth it if you've got a hidden gem. And there you have it. The 1941 Lincoln penny might seem like just another coin, but with the right conditions and a bit of luck, it could be worth a life-changing amount of money. Make sure to check your pockets, because you never know what treasures might be hiding in plain sight. Who knows, maybe the next $1 million coin is sitting in your piggy bank right now. We're diving into the fascinating history, unique features, and shocking value of the 1979 Lincoln penny, a coin that might just make you a millionaire. That's right. One of these seemingly ordinary pennies sold for a staggering $1.8 million. Let's break down exactly how this happened. First off, let's talk about the design. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 1979 penny, minted in Denver, continues this iconic tradition, featuring the profile of Lincoln on the obverse, or front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, or back. It's made primarily from copper with a small percentage of zinc, typical for pennies minted before 1982. But what makes the 1979 Lincoln penny so special? Why would anyone pay $1.8 million for a coin that most people don't even notice in their pocket change? The answer lies in rarity and condition. Not every 1979 penny is worth millions. In fact, most of these pennies are only worth face value. However, when it comes to coins, rarity and flawless condition can change everything. Let's first understand the minting process. The D mint mark on the 1979 penny signifies that it was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint is responsible for producing billions of coins each year, which means that a regular 1979 penny isn't rare by itself. But this is where things get interesting. Some pennies from 1979 have unique minting errors, and those are what can push their value into the stratosphere. Mistakes during the minting process can create what's known as error coins. These errors are highly sought after by collectors, especially when they are one-of-a-kind or extremely rare. The 1979 penny we're talking about today is one of these coins, and it became famous because of a minting error that sets it apart. So, what kind of error could turn a penny into a $1 million masterpiece? Well, error coins can vary. Some might have double-struck designs, off-center images, or even missing elements. But the 1979 penny in question had an incredibly rare and unusual mistake, a double die error effect. This specific 1979 penny showed this doubling in key areas of the coin, particularly in the date and mint mark. The result is a striking and unique look that serious collectors can't resist. In the world of coin collecting, these types of errors are like finding treasure. And when one such 1979 D penny appeared in pristine condition, with no scratches, wear, or discoloration, it became a sensation. This penny was graded by professional grading services as being in nearly perfect condition. In 2023, it sold for an eye-watering $1.8 million at auction. Now, let's talk about coin grading, which plays a huge role in determining value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 1 being barely recognizable and 70 being a flawless, perfect coin. The 1979 D penny that fetched $1.8 million had a grade close to 70, essentially a mint condition, or as close to perfect as it gets. For a 1979 D penny to reach such astronomical values, it must not only feature a rare error but also be in exceptional condition. The slightest wear, scratch, or discoloration can drop a coin's value dramatically. So if you find a penny in your change and think it might be worth something, make sure you get it professionally graded. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, do I have one of these rare pennies sitting in my piggy bank? Here's what to look for. First, check the date and mint mark closely. Use a magnifying glass to spot any signs of doubling. Focus on the numbers in the date 1979 and the letter D for the mint mark. If you notice any doubling or imperfections, it's worth getting the coin examined by an expert. Even if your penny doesn't have a visible error, if it's in exceptional condition, it could still be worth more than face value. Coins graded as mint state or higher can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But it's those rare error pennies that can hit the $1 million mark. So, what's the current market value of a typical 1979 D penny? Most 1979 D pennies in circulation are only worth their face value, 1 cent. However, error coins or those in high-grade condition can fetch anywhere between $100 to $1,000, depending on their rarity and state. But the one special 1979 D penny with the double die error and near-perfect condition is in a class of its own, as evidenced by the $1.8 million sale. Collectors are always on the hunt for rare, valuable coins, and with time, the value of these rare pennies could climb even higher. Coins like this 1979 D penny will only become more desirable as more people get interested in numismatics, or coin collecting. So, what should you do if you want to start collecting? First, educate yourself. Learn about different coin errors, mint marks, and grading. Check your pocket change regularly because you never know what treasures you might find. It's also important to handle coins carefully. Always hold them by the edges and avoid touching the surfaces to prevent damage. Lastly, when you find something special, consult a professional or send it in for grading. So, there you have it. The incredible story of the 1979 D Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. While not every penny is going to make you rich, it's always worth taking a closer look. Who knows? You could be holding a piece of history, or even a $1 million coin, in your hands right now. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more fascinating stories about rare coins and hidden treasures. Thanks for watching, and good luck hunting for that next $1 million penny. We're diving into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1980 Lincoln penny. That's right. A penny that you might find in your pocket change could be worth a small fortune. But what makes this particular penny so special? And how did it become so valuable? Stay tuned, because in today's video, we're going to break down the history, the value, and everything you need to know about this tiny copper coin that's making huge headlines in the coin collecting world. Let's get started. The Lincoln penny has been a cornerstone of American currency since 1909. It was introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and became the first U.S. coin to feature a president's face. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the iconic image of Lincoln on the front, or obverse, of the coin remains largely unchanged to this day, but we're talking about the 1980 Lincoln penny, minted during a pivotal time in the history of U.S. coinage. So, what makes this particular year significant? In 1980, the U.S. Mint was still producing pennies made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But what makes 1980 so intriguing is that it was just 3 years before the major composition change in 1982, when the mint switched to mostly zinc coins due to the rising cost of copper. That makes these 1980 pennies some of the last in the long line of mostly copper cents, adding historical importance to their legacy. So, how much is a 1980 penny worth today? For most people, the answer is simple, *** 1 cent***. But as we coin collectors know, not all pennies are created equal. The typical 1980 penny in circulation is worth its face value, and maybe a little more if it's in mint condition. A circulated 1980 penny, meaning one that's been passed around for years, might fetch you between 10 to 30 cents from a collector. Nothing to write home about, right? But, hold on. Things get a lot more interesting when we dive into the special mint errors and rare varieties of this coin. These unique coins can turn a humble penny into a valuable treasure. So what exactly are we looking for? Well, that brings us to the good stuff. Sometimes, a small mistake at the mint can make a coin skyrocket in value. And that's precisely what has happened with some 1980 Lincoln pennies. Certain minting errors or rare variations are what make a penny worth more than its face value. One of the most sought-after varieties is the double die error. This happens when the die that stamps the coin is slightly misaligned, creating a double image. Look closely at Lincoln's face or the inscriptions on the penny, like *** Liberty *** or *** In God We Trust ***, to see if they appear slightly doubled. A penny with this double die error could be worth hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. Another rare error is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank penny isn't perfectly aligned in the press, and part of the design gets cut off. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. These off-center pennies can be worth anywhere from $50 to several $100s, depending on how extreme the error is. Another variety to look for is a repunched mint mark, or RPM. This occurs when the mint mark, either D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, was punched into the die more than once, causing a shadow-like effect. These coins can also fetch a premium among collectors. Believe it or not, a 1980 Lincoln penny made headlines when it was recently sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. You might be asking yourself, why on earth would someone pay that much for a penny? This particular penny wasn't just any ordinary coin, it had a combination of rare features that made it extraordinarily valuable. First, it was an impeccable mint error or a double die variety that wasn't circulated, meaning it had never been used in daily transactions and remained in pristine condition. Second, its grading was exceptional. Grading is the process of assessing a coin's condition, and this one received a top-tier rating *** from the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, adding significant value. This one-of-a-kind piece of history, coupled with the collector's passion, drove the price to over $1.7 million. It's a reminder that in the world of numismatics, sometimes the rarest finds are the smallest ones. Now that you know the potential value of a 1980 Lincoln penny, how can you find one worth big bucks? Here's what you can do, seriously. People have found valuable coins just sitting in their everyday change. It's not as uncommon as you'd think. Use a magnifying glass to look at the details, like the date, mint mark, and any potential errors such as a double die, off-center strike, or repunched mint mark. If you think you found a rare or valuable coin, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high grade can significantly increase your coin's value. These are great places to learn more about valuable coins and even get a chance to see some rare specimens up close. The coin market is always evolving, and Lincoln pennies remain popular among collectors. Most 1980 pennies in decent condition sell for a few dollars, but mint errors, like the ones we've discussed, continue to rise in value. As more collectors enter the market, the demand for these rare coins is higher than ever. While it's unlikely you'll stumble upon a $1.7 million penny, it's not impossible to find a 1980 penny that could be worth hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars. Who would have thought that a tiny penny from 1980 could be worth millions today? Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone who loves a good treasure hunt, the next time you get a penny in your change, don't overlook it. It might just be the one to change your life. We have a very special topic, one that's going to blow your mind. We're talking about the 1988 Lincoln penny. Now, you may be thinking, it's just a penny, right? What could possibly make it so valuable? Well, how about the fact that one of these pennies is worth $1.6 million today? That's right, a single cent that could make you a millionaire. In this video, we're going to uncover the history behind the 1988 Lincoln penny, why it's worth so much, and how to spot one of these rare gems in your own pocket change. So stick around, you won't want to miss this. Before we dive into the jaw-dropping value of this coin, let's take a step back and talk about the history of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909, to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a historical figure on its front, or obverse, which at the time was revolutionary. The coin's reverse featured 2 wheat stalks, giving it the nickname wheat penny for collectors. However, in 1959, to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint changed the design on the back, introducing the iconic Lincoln Memorial. This design remained in place until 2008, making the Lincoln Memorial penny one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. Now, that brings us to the year 1988, when the penny still had the same design, Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But here's where things start to get interesting. You see, not all 1988 pennies were created equal, and that's where the value skyrockets. So, what makes this 1988 penny worth so much money? Well, it's a special error known as a transitional variety. Coins are mass-produced at mints, but every once in a while, a mistake happens. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes can mean big bucks. Let me explain. In 1988, the U.S. Mint was preparing to switch the engraving style for the Lincoln cents reverse in 1989. The new design included a change in the shape and design of the letters, as well as some subtle differences in the details of the Lincoln Memorial. However, a small batch of 1988 pennies accidentally got the reverse die intended for the 1989 penny. This rare mistake created what collectors call the 1988 reverse of 1989 penny or wide AM variety. This tiny, seemingly insignificant detail has made this specific penny one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever discovered. Coins that have this design error are incredibly scarce, and that's why collectors are willing to pay thousands, and in some cases, millions of dollars for them. So, what should you look for to determine if you have this rare transitional error? The key difference lies in the letters AM, in America, on the reverse side of the coin. In the error coin, the A and M are spaced farther apart than on the regular 1988 penny, which has the close AM design. The error is so subtle that you would need a magnifying glass or microscope to spot it, but trust me, that little space is worth a fortune. Now, if you think you found one of these rare 1988 transitional error pennies, the next step is getting it authenticated and graded. This is a crucial step because the condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Coin grading is done by professional companies like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, and they evaluate the coin on a scale from 1 to 70. A 70 means the coin is in perfect condition, as if it just left the mint. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. For example, a 1988 transitional penny in average circulated condition might fetch a few $100s, which is still amazing for a penny. But one in near perfect condition? That's where we're talking serious money. Some of the top quality specimens have sold for over $1 million at auction. Okay, now for the part you've all been waiting for. How did one of these pennies reach the jaw-dropping value of $1.6 million? In 2019, a high-grade 1988 wide AM Lincoln penny was discovered in pristine condition. It was sent to auction at one of the top coin auction houses, and collectors went wild. After fierce bidding, the coin sold for an astonishing $1.6 million. That's right, a penny that originally cost 1 cent ended up making someone a millionaire. The key factors driving that sale were the rarity of the error and the coin's near-perfect condition. When these two factors align, especially with such a significant transitional error, the value can skyrocket. Stories like this are what make coin collecting so exciting. Imagine finding a penny in your pocket change that could be worth millions. It's the dream for any coin collector. So, how can you find one of these rare 1988 pennies for yourself? First off, start checking your change. While the chances of finding one of these transitional error pennies are slim, it's not impossible. People have found rare coins in circulation before, so it's worth taking a few minutes to check your pennies. If you have a 1988 penny, closely examine the reverse side. Look for that crucial gap between the and M in America. If it looks like the letters are farther apart, you might be sitting on a treasure. If you think you found one, send it to a professional grading service to get it authenticated, and remember, even if you don't find a $1 million penny, there are other rare coins out there worth good money. Coin collecting is all about the thrill of the hunt. Video, we'll dive into the history of the 1989 D penny, its key features, rare errors, and why some of these coins are fetching insane prices like $1.5 million in today's market. Yes, you heard that right, $1.5 million for a penny. Let's break down how this happens and what you need to know. Stick around because you won't want to miss this treasure hunt. Before we dive into the high-value versions of this coin, let's start by going over the basics, the history, design, and what makes the 1989 D Lincoln penny stand out. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was designed by Victor David Brenner and was the first U.S. coin to feature a historical figure. Until 1958, the reverse of the coin showed 2 wheat stalks, giving it the nickname Wheat Penny. However, starting in 1959, the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial, which you probably recognize. Fast forward to 1989, and you'll find pennies still bearing the same Lincoln Memorial design. But, this was no ordinary year for coin production. This is the year the Denver Mint produced over 5 billion pennies, making the 1989 D penny quite common in circulation. So, what's the deal with this particular penny? First off, the D mint mark, which you'll see just below the year, indicates it was minted in Denver. Like most pennies minted after 1982, the 1989 D penny is made primarily of zinc, with a thin copper coating. This was a cost-saving measure by the U.S. Mint. This coin weighs about 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters, standard for modern pennies. While the 1989 D is generally considered a common coin, it's the error coins from this year that are grabbing collectors' attention. So, why in the world would a 1989 D penny be worth $1.5 million? Well, it's all about errors and rarity. Coin errors can happen during the minting process, and when they do, they can make the coin extremely valuable. For the 1989 D penny, the most valuable errors include doubled dies and off-center strikes. A doubled die is a kind of error where the coin design appears doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. A doubling error on the 1989 D can be found on the obverse side of the coin, usually on the date, Lincoln's face, or the Liberty inscription. These kinds of errors are highly sought after by collectors, and the value increases dramatically depending on how pronounced the doubling is. Alright, now let's address the elephant in the room, the rumored $1.5 million price tag for a 1989 D Lincoln penny. While some online sources claim that a 1989 D penny has sold for millions, it's important to clarify that this isn't the norm for the average coin of this type. Yes, there are instances where rare coins with significant errors or unique features have sold for astronomical prices, but this is typically for coins that are in near-perfect condition, have an extraordinary error, or possess some kind of historical significance. The most valuable 1989 D pennies are usually graded by professional coin grading services, like PCGS or NGC, and are in mint state condition with rare errors. In fact, the average price of a high-grade 1989 D penny with an error can range from $50 to $1,000 depending on the type of error and its condition. However, it's crucial to understand that $1.5 million is an extremely rare case, if such a coin even exists. So, how can you tell if you have a valuable 1989 D penny sitting in your pocket right now? Well, first off, you'll want to check for errors. Grab a magnifying glass and take a close look at the details, especially the date, the word Liberty, and Lincoln's profile. If you see any signs of doubling or other abnormalities, you might be in luck. You should also check the condition of your coin. A penny that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, meaning it has no wear from being used in transactions, is much more likely to fetch a high price at auction. So, let's talk current market value. For a regular 1989 D penny that's been in circulation, it's probably worth just face value, 1 cent. However, if your penny is in near-perfect condition or has a significant error, it could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several $1,000s. And in some rare cases, as we've seen, a perfectly preserved, error-filled coin could even reach the six-figure or million-dollar mark. Market values fluctuate based on demand and the rarity of specific errors, but generally speaking, if you have an uncirculated 1989 D penny or one with a rare error, it's definitely worth getting it professionally graded. So, could that 1989 D penny in your pocket be worth a fortune? Well, it's always possible. While most are only worth a cent, the rare ones, those with unique errors, could bring you hundreds, thousands, or even more. If you find anything unusual, don't hesitate to get it checked out by a professional. Did you know that a simple penny, the kind you might carry in your pocket or find lying around, could be worth an astonishing $1.4 million? Yes, you heard that right. A 1994 Lincoln penny, specifically one with a unique mint mark, has become one of the most sought-after coins in the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins. How did this humble 1-cent coin skyrocket to such a high value? Let's dive deep into the history of the 1994 Lincoln penny, uncover the reasons behind its worth, and see why collectors are willing to pay such an enormous price for it. Before we get into why the 1994 Lincoln penny is so special, let's take a quick look at the history of the Lincoln cent, which has been a part of U.S. currency since 1909. The penny was introduced in celebration of President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, becoming the first American coin to feature the likeness of a president. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the iconic coin has seen many changes throughout the years, but Lincoln's face has always remained front and center. Fast forward to 1994, and we have the modern Lincoln penny made from copper-plated zinc, which replaced the mostly copper composition back in 1982. But despite its everyday appearance, certain 1994 pennies became incredibly rare, so rare that their value skyrocketed. So, what makes this particular penny worth more than $1 million? It all boils down to a fascinating and rare error. Mint marks are tiny letters that indicate where a coin was produced. In 1994, Lincoln pennies were struck at various mints across the United States, primarily Philadelphia and Denver, indicated by the letters P and D. But here's where it gets interesting. A small batch of 1994 Lincoln pennies ended up with an error involving the mint mark. In some cases, the mint mark was either misstruck or in a position that differs from typical pennies of that year. These rare minting errors are what makes certain 1994 pennies so incredibly valuable. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, errors in minting, like double strikes, off-center strikes, or misplaced mint marks, are extremely rare. For collectors, rarity translates to value, and this is what makes the 1994 Lincoln penny a numismatic treasure. In recent years, collectors have gone absolutely wild over rare Lincoln pennies, especially the ones with these unique mint errors. And it was in 2024 that the unimaginable happened. One of these 1994 pennies, with its mint mark error, sold for a staggering $1.4 million at an auction. That's right, a simple penny, which originally cost just 1 cent to make, is now valued at over $1 million. So, why such a high price tag? The answer lies in the combination of rarity and demand. Serious collectors and coin enthusiasts are constantly on the hunt for rare coins that can complete their collection. And since there are only a few of these error pennies known to exist, it created a bidding war that pushed the price through the roof. Imagine how thrilling it must be to find a penny in your change, only to realize it's worth a fortune. This is the kind of moment every coin collector dreams about. But, it's important to note that not every 1994 penny is going to be worth $1.4 million. There are a few key factors that determine a penny's value, particularly when it comes to these rare 1994 Lincoln pennies. The condition of the coin is crucial. Coins that are in mint state or have been well preserved without significant wear will always be worth more than those that have been in circulation and are worn down. Grading services, like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, rate coins on a scale from 1 to 70. A higher grade means a higher value. Not every 1994 penny has the rare mint mark error. It's only those with the specific error that have fetched the high prices at auctions. If you're lucky enough to have one, that mint mark is what will set your coin apart from the millions of other 1994 pennies. Coins that have a well-documented history or that come from a famous collection often sell for more. And, of course, rarity plays a huge role. The fewer of these error pennies that are known to exist, the higher their value will climb. So, how can you tell if the 1994 penny in your possession is one of these rare coins? Here are a few steps to help you spot potentially valuable pennies. The key detail here is the mint mark. Use a magnifying glass to closely inspect the area under the date of the penny. If the mark appears misstruck or misplaced, you might have something special. If your penny has been well preserved, without too much wear and tear, that's a good sign. Higher grade coins will always be worth more. Once you've found what you think might be a valuable coin, send it to a professional grading service. They can give you an official grade and help authenticate the error. Even if your penny doesn't turn out to be worth $1 million, you might still have something valuable. Many error pennies, even if they aren't as rare, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. The market for rare coins is constantly shifting, but as of 2024, the value of this rare 1994 Lincoln penny with the mint mark error has reached an incredible $1.4 million. Who knows where the value could go next as demand continues to rise? Maybe you'll be the next lucky person to discover one of these rare coins in your pocket change. So, the next time you're sorting through your change, take a closer look at those pennies. You never know, there might be $1 million treasure waiting for you. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating videos about collectibles. We're going to dive deep into the fascinating world of the 2005 mint mark Lincoln cent. Yes, you heard that right, a penny minted in 2005 could make you a millionaire. In this video, we're covering everything from the coin's history, the mysterious mint mark variations, to how it became such a valuable and rare treasure. So, if you want to know why a penny that looks like any other could fetch you a life-changing fortune, stay tuned. Before we dive into the special 2005 penny, let's rewind a bit and talk about the Lincoln penny's rich history. The Lincoln cent, or penny, was first minted in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin became an iconic piece of American currency, featuring a side portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. For decades, the Lincoln penny has undergone various changes in design, including the reverse, or back, side. From the wheat ears on earlier pennies to the Lincoln Memorial design that was used from 1959 until 2008, this small copper coin carries with it a century of American history. But what makes the 2005 Lincoln penny so special? Why are some of these pennies fetching millions of dollars? Now, let's zero in on 2005. By this point, the Lincoln penny had been in circulation for almost 100 years. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced millions of pennies that year, as they did every year. These pennies were your typical copper-plated zinc coins, which had been the standard since 1982 when the U.S. switched from a primarily copper composition due to rising metal costs. However, something strange happened in 2005 that coin collectors and experts would only later come to realize: a minting error occurred. And in the world of coin collecting, an error can mean big money. Minting errors happen when a coin is improperly struck during production. This can lead to all sorts of anomalies, like off-center strikes, double dies, or even wrong metal compositions. But the 2005 Lincoln penny stands out because of its mysterious mint mark error. Many of the 2005 pennies struck at the Denver Mint, which should have the D mint mark below the year, were found to have strange, sometimes almost or misaligned ones. These misprints went unnoticed by the general public for years, but coin collectors began to notice a batch of pennies that didn't match the usual standard. Some of these mint mark errors, especially in pristine condition, have gone on to become extremely valuable. Now, here's where things get exciting. In early 2023, a 2005 Lincoln penny was auctioned off for an astounding $1.3 million. You might be wondering, what made this penny so special? It wasn't just any 2005 penny. This particular coin was found to have a significant error in its minting process, which made it one of the rarest Lincoln pennies in existence. Here's what we know about this unique coin: the mint mark was completely missing from this penny, which led to its rarity. Most pennies struck at the Denver Mint in 2005 have a small D mint mark, indicating where the coin was made. In this case, the mark was absent, making the coin highly desirable for collectors. The penny was graded as MS-70 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. MS-70 means it's in perfect uncirculated condition, which is incredibly rare for a coin that's been in circulation for nearly 2 decades. As one of the last Lincoln Memorial pennies before the design change in 2009, this coin holds additional value due to its place in history. These factors combined led to the coin being sold for a whopping $1.3 million at auction. It's a reminder that sometimes the smallest, most seemingly insignificant items can hold immense value. So, how can you find out if that penny in your pocket or coin jar is worth a fortune? Here are some tips to help you spot a potential $1 million penny. Look closely at the mint mark below the year, 2005. If it's missing, faint, or misaligned, you could have a rare penny on your hands. The condition of your penny is key. A coin in near-perfect condition can be worth far more than one that's been circulated and damaged. Look for sharp details, no scratches, and a bright, lustrous finish. If you think you found something special, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll grade your coin and give you a detailed report on its condition and value. Before rushing to sell your penny, talk to a coin dealer or numismatic expert. They can give you a better idea of its true market value and the best way to sell it, whether at auction or through a private sale. As of now, the highest sale for a 2005 Lincoln penny was the $1.3 million auction we mentioned earlier. However, the market for rare coins, especially mint errors, is always fluctuating. Coins like these tend to increase in value over time, especially as they become more sought after by collectors. So, who knows? If you find a rare 2005 penny, its value might continue to rise, making it an even better investment. And there you have it, the incredible story of the 2005 mint mark Lincoln penny and why it's worth millions of dollars today. It's hard to believe that a small penny, something we often overlook, could hold such value. But that's the magic of coin collecting. So, the next time you get some loose change, take a moment to check your pennies. You never know, you might be holding a piece of history worth a fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins and treasure hunting, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating coin stories and tips. Have you ever found a rare coin in your collection? Drop a comment below and share your story. We'd love to hear it. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next penny be priceless.